Madam. Will you remark further? Representative Gonzalez of the 3rd District, you have the floor, madam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I can't believe this. Hundreds of people criticize this judge, and the way that they describe this judge is having a bad temper. Well, I got a bad temper, right? That's what a lot of people say here. But it's different when a judge on the bench is dealing with parents. A judge that ignores other judges' court order. A judge that has been threatening parents to take their kids away and put them in jail if they don't pay guardians ad litem thousands and thousands of dollars. He ordered psych evaluation with a doctor that he decided that he want. So these parents, they go to court, they're not allowed to choose a doctor. They're not allowed. He has to go with whatever he decides. He abused his power and enjoy abusing and controlling parents. This past Friday, at the beginning of Judge Adelman interview, he was very calm. He painted himself as one of the best judges. Oh my God, what a different behavior in court compared to his behavior in this public hearing. The first question to Judge Adelman came from our chair, my chair, Representative Tom. And the question for Representative Tom, it was that many grievances were filed by people for whom Judge Adelman have. He said if the people that they were complaining about him, if the grievance, the people filed grievance against him, if those people were in front of him, and the answer from Mr. Adelman was many grievances were filed by people from whom Judge Adelman have no involvement in their case. And that's what Judge Adelman say. No, there are a lot of people that file a grievance against me. But most of those people never been in front of me. That was the answer from Judge Adelman to the chair of that committee. Well, he mentioned a couple of names. He mentioned Ida Shaw, he mentioned Mike Nowacki, and he mentioned Susan Skip. Those people never been in front of him. Those people, they just looking on the website and they are complaining about me. Well, guess what? He lied to my chair. Now, he don't lie only to the Latina rep that have a heavy accent. He lied to my chair because this is a court order that Judge Adelman signed against Susan Skip. One of the people that he said that never that person been in front of him. In that court order, he was ordering the mother to bring the kid to the father no later than 1:45 today. Failure to do so will result in all parental access by the defendant mother to be terminated. So, yes, she was in front of him. Mr. Chair, he lied to all of you and all of us. But what is very rare in this and funny is that the mother received a court order at 12:45, and he wanted her to deliver the child by 1:45, knowing that this mother was working as a teacher, and she has to go. She was working in Hamden. She has to go to Fairfield, and then have to go to Reading less than an hour. So this was very clear in order to Susan Skip that he really said that she never was in front of him. So she lied to my chair under oath. I never checked the case of the chair was talking about. It was the Attorney Hightower. But only God knows what happened in that case. The way that he treat, especially women, when that chair asked him, they are complaining a lot about you, that you are biased. The answer was, my wife is a woman. Duh, my wife is a woman. And I have a daughter. That was the response. But we were not dealing with his wife or his daughter in court. He also stated that when parents go to court, they get emotional, that he will stop and they will get tissue to those parents. They are crying. Tissues. You imagine? That's what he said. That they will provide tissue to those parents. They are crying. I was there. I don't know how many times I've been in the court. The first time, he noticed that I was there, and the look that he gave me was horrible. But I continued going back because there were so many complaints against this judge. I continued to go back. So when he said that they provide tissues, I'm going to tell you why he provided them. I was there when a mother, very, very well educated, a professional, she started crying because she was fighting for her son. She started crying, and what he did, he didn't provide no tissues. He called the marshals. And the marshals, he asked the marshal to stay behind her and move the shackles. So she was going to be distracted, and she was going to be scared. And that's what he does with these mothers. He treats them with no respect. So I think that my next step will buy tissues for the court. So that way, be for sure, they're going to use tissues. But the other thing that he said, that when a parent get emotional and they start crying, he knows that the parent is not going to obey the court order. That's crazy to say that. I can go to court, and maybe because I'm nervous, or maybe because I'm fighting for my son, I get emotional, and I can start crying. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to obey a court order. But that's what he said. I asked him, I asked him if the appellate court completely overturned an order, can an attorney come to court later on with a motion for contempt for no compliance with those orders? And he said, the order that has been overturned. And I said, uh-huh. He said, no. And I said, no. Then he responded, well, because there's no longer an order. And I said exactly my point. A lawyer came after they overturned a decision. A lawyer came to court and filed a motion for contempt of court. That's supposed to be illegal. And he allowed that they hold this man for contempt of court, knowing that their court was vacated 6 months ago. So this man went to the appellate court and he filed a motion, and they make the funding that Adelman make a finding of willful contempt on 10/11/2012, and that motion was vacated on April 24, 2012. But he didn't care anyway. He held this person in contempt of court. So I heard a lot of good things about Adelman. He was asked a lot of questions. And in one time, I did remind him that he was under oath. And that was the time that he kind of lose control. Because these judges always want to be in control. So, looking at this judge and all the complaints about him, this is the worst judge. We have, I don't know how many appointments today or reappointment. But from all the judges, I will say this is a terrible, terrible judge. He protect the guardian ad litem even though the guardian ad litem are abusing the parents. He protect guardian ad litem even though the guardians ad litem are charging thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. When they ask the guardians ad litem, why $150,000 in court? The answer is, you gotta pay the guardian ad litem. That's what they are asking for. So I will say that when I also asked him about ADA accommodation, he gave me a quick, compassionate sounding response. But when you check the reality, he don't want and he don't like to deal with pro se or ADA, people that need ADA accommodation. So Judge Adelman doesn't have any respect for us or for our process. When he come in front of us and he start lying to the chair, and I got the notes here, I'm not inventing this. It's impossible for me to invent all of these things. So he don't have no respect for our process. He is a judge, and he believes that he can do whatever he wants. I ask this body today, please not ignore his behavior toward us and also to the parents that got in front of him. He came to this committee, to the Judiciary Committee, and he purged himself. I got proof here that he purged himself. I know a story about a mother that went in front of this judge. She's been in front of this judge a couple of years. She lost her kids, her job, and she ended up homeless. She said, and she's going to court with that, so everything that I'm saying, you can check, that her name was removed from the deed of her home. By the same time, did the court order her, the judge Adelman ordered her to sell her house because the attorneys and litigants and the AMC, they want money. So he ordered her to sell her house. She went to court and she was fighting in court for 9 months. And she thought that because her name was removed from the deed illegally, she thought that she was going to win the case. She fought for 9 months. And about 1 month ago, she was getting home and a police officer was waiting for her. And he said, "You've been evicted." She said, "Evicted by whom?" And the police officer said, "You've been evicted by Judge Adelman gave the order. So you have 2 hours to get your stuff, whatever you can pay in 2 hours, and you got to leave." And she said, "How this is possible if I'm going to a process in court and I'm waiting for the decision? How can Judge Adelman order this?" She was asking questions about the house. She was asking questions about how much they paid for the house. She didn't receive no answer. But I am sure that if we ask about it, they might have an answer ready, even if it is not true. My God, a clique like this in the court is dangerous. It's dangerous. There is a lot of corruption in our broken system. It's work only for some people. For the AMC, guardians and litigants, they're getting richer day by day. You can check a guardian and litigant that maybe in that 2013, she was handling 2 cases. But then you check 14, 15, and 16, the case keeps going up and up and up because it's a lot of money there. Our system is not about justice or fairness. Our system is about money. This is not the only case like this. I know about other cases where the court is working with the group selling homes and attorneys, guardians ad litem, and God knows who else is involved. All of this and more is going through the court system, and this body keeps sending back these judges to the bench. Let's stop the corruption. Let's do something about it. It's easy to label the payments as crazy just because people would not believe anything that is going on. And also, go ahead, just label the Latino rep that is defending this parent. It's okay, I'm used to that. Just label again the Latino rep. Let's do the right thing. Let's send a message to these judges, the ones that are not following the law, And let's say to our constituents and to the people of Connecticut that we are here to protect their rights. And I've been voting against judges today. And even if I get 1, 2, 3, 4 vote, 5, whatever, and I can't keep that judge out of the bench. For me, even though that maybe you don't think about, for me, it's a victory. It's a victory. Even though if I can get these judges out of the bench, people are listening, and the corruption is out there. Or we decide that we're going to change the system so we can help these parents. Or we will continue allowing these judges to abuse these parents and abuse the system. I will ask my colleagues to oppose this reappointment. Vote no, because the residents of Connecticut, they deserve the best. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam